And we're on camera too, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so I'm gonna try to not sit like fucking.
I know. You know.
I have the worst posture.
Oh, his dad's like.
Manny just starts doing this.
His dad's like. You look like you're like. Look, I'm like. I keep forgetting where I'm filming, even though I'm looking at it. I don't know.
Okay,
All
3,
right, 2,
2, 1.
Behind the Hooks. With Manny DeGrandis. And Daniel Panetta.
All right, we are back. It's
just
another
the two
Monday.
of us.
It's
Wait,
not. It is not just the two of us, dude.
pan out now.
Where did you learn how to? I'm not gonna pan out. Do you know how much time that takes?
I know.
It's just gonna be this. All right. Every time.
Okay, picture it, folks.
Yeah.
Two of us, and then we pan out, and then
Internal
there's
direction.
this guy. Introduce him, Dan.
Ladies and gentlemen, in a world.
Whoa. Yeah. I don't think I deserve an intro like that.
Where beer
You're
is the
overhyping
only
it. Yeah.
thirst quenching thing on the planet.
Hi. You've overhyped it, man.
I'm
I've never
sorry.
had an intro. I've never had an intro like that.
I'm
Now
gonna
I got to really deliver for the
gonna
next
put-
hour of my life.
Well, you have to start drinking, bro.
I'm gonna keep drinking.
I keep drinking.
Yeah.
From Market Brewery, we have Bill Gianopoulos here. Give it up.
What's going on? Thank you guys for having me. Happy to be here and do this with you too. You know, I love hanging out with you guys at the brewery, so we've taken our relationship to the next level.
Yeah.
Dan-
Talk
Dan
together
took you
for
home.
an hour.
Where's my ring?
I usually like to just do the quick 5-minute chat and then I disappear and not have to talk to you guys for the rest of the night. Now I'm stuck with you
Now
for
you're
an
stuck.
hour.
You're in my
Wow.
house, boy.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to need another beer. I already got 2. One I haven't even got into. Got the third one ready.
I'm trying to keep you happy. I slave and I slave.
Well, it's really funny because as musicians, you know, we see like bar owners and people, and they don't know us. they hear us playing.
We're
they say
cordial
us-
with
Yeah.
bar owners. We're cordial with people who like the staff, right? Because we're all in this together. We're all providing the same service,
Totally.
trying to make people happy while within the night. But it's you're right. It's really rare that you get a chance to actually sit down and talk
Yeah.
to some people. You take the time. You'll take time out of your out of whatever you're doing there, which is your like fucking flubber. You're all over the place.
Yeah.
And you'll come and just like talk to us for a few minutes, which is a nice thing,
Yeah,
man.
which is
It,
nice.
it shows that you care.
Well, honestly, I do, though. You guys are good guys. And, at the brewery, I like to bring in, I always talk about how I just want to make sure I'm bringing in good music because I'm really proud of that. I had a bit of a background, not as a musician, but being around live music, working at old record stores and stuff. So I want to make sure it's quality, but then good people too, man. Nothing like just shooting the shit with some good people.
Yeah.
And then you guys go play an awesome set, and then I'm proud to listen to it and have you guys there. And, to you guys are like celebrities to me. I'm like, I know those guys.
I know those guys.
I've had a beer with Manny.
A beer.
Yeah, a beer.
Just one.
One beer.
That's it. That's
It's when
all
he gets
he'll
into
let
3
me.
and 4 that we start getting kicked out of places.
No, but
I get thrown out of one bar with Dan, and now all of a sudden, I'm Mr. Throw guy. Well,
I know,
they
man.
didn't even let me in. They threw me out in line.
No, you yelled at him because you wanted to know who he was going for in the soccer game. He yelled that at a bouncer.
Thought I was 20. Me and Jack were drinking like 20-year-olds, so I just kept it going.
Anyway, thank you very much for being
hey,
here.
happy to be here. I love you guys. Genuinely, we have a great relationship.
Yeah, man.
I want to keep that going, but let's have some fun here
For
on
sure.
this podcast. Yeah.
We're gonna get into some of the fun stuff that we've got planned in the new year.
Absolutely.
And but for now, you've been very gracious to not only hosting us in our individual projects, but us our own band, 41 Soul.
Yeah.
You've been really kind. We just played there recently, and it was a great time. I
Yeah.
mean, I had my family there. There's very few places that my family gets to see me play anymore because it's usually private functions and stuff like that. So to be in an atmosphere where, my parents are chill and they get to see their son and his friends get up on stage and do what they do. But it's a safe atmosphere. It's a fun atmosphere for every demographic. Do you know how rare that is?
Yeah.
Every demographic of person, like whether you're like a teenager that's, coming out with his parents or her parents and hanging
that's
out
true.
and just like, playing
dog.
cards, dogs
dog.
coming in.
When you guys played, last time when you joined, we were talking about this earlier, when you joined Manny and Jesse we were in like a hardcore euchre tournament, just jamming out. I think I convinced my friends to like book you guys to do a private gig for us where we probably play euchre in private.
Can you imagine if you guys broke into like the 007 theme and it's like Casino Royale but for euchre? No, it's awesome. It's always such a good time, and we really appreciate it. So
We should actually say where it is.
yeah, so Market Brewery, you know the address. It's a bunch of numbers before Leslie.
17775 Leslie Street, Unit 4.
Say that
now,
again so I'm not interrupting.
17775 Leslie Street. But the trick to that is, and I always tell people, is that it's next to the dealership and in the back.
Yeah, just north of Davis.
Just
on
north of
Leslie.
Davis.
And we almost share the dealership, like driveway with the dealership.
Yep.
And then ours is on the north side. It's a hidden gem.
It's a hidden
Right.
gem. It really is.
It's but a gem
of
gems, honestly.
And the environment there and the vibe that you guys get is something from day one. When I jumped in, I'm like, let's just make this place awesome and chill and have a good time. I've rarely for a place that serves alcohol, I don't think I've seen hardly people get that sick or fights or anything. Just people, good vibes. I've seen random groups start hanging out together and sharing food together
That's
and
what it's
having a good
supposed to
time. So
be.
yeah.
my thing always is funny when I deal with people who want to do rezos or bookings or stuff to check out musicians and bands. They're always like, "Can we do this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we do that?" I'm like, "Okay." They're like, "What about this?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, whatever you want." Like, it's just you come in and make it what you want, and then when it's done, you leave, and we'll
This
put the place
past
back together.
weekend, you had Glenn do his poetry book release, and Courtney did our art. And then the night before we played
and was the Suds for
Movember.
Stashes.
the Movember
Yeah.
fundraiser. I've done my daughter's soccer team fundraisers. There's like 30 11-year-old girls rep soccer there. They all
you
left. We
hosted us
played.
for Gig and Live last summer. You did so much great work for the musicians.
Yeah.
You've done just great. It's great work for the art community in Newmarket, which and we were talking about this. It's like this. Nobody understands. Newmarket is this creme de la creme of artists.
Tell me about it.
And nobody knows about it.
Sometimes it drives me fucking crazy because I see the talent that comes through, and some nights it's just a bit quieter. There's no rhyme or reason, especially during a pandemic. You can't predict how busy it'll be. And I just bang the table and go, do people realize 5 minutes away what is happening right now?
Seriously, man. I mean, I remember coming up to Newmarket and thinking it was the end of the world when I was living in Toronto, right? And like you'd have like these little nightclubs and stuff like that, but there wasn't. I don't know if there was a lot of like gigging opportunity back in those days. We're talking like early 2000s to like 2010s. There wasn't a lot going on in that way, but it wasn't until like I committed to moving north that like. You start making friends, you start teaching together and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, where are you playing this weekend? Oh, I'm playing Market Brewery. Oh, where's that? And then you go and it's like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Where has this been my whole career? You know what I mean? Like it's one of those places that like you walk in, you immediately feel at home. It's like Cheers, man.
Is it?
Like
My mother-in-law says that. She goes, whenever somebody comes in, you're always like, "Hey, Glenn. Hey, Mike. Hey, this." They're like, "How's George, your dog?" I'm like, sometimes I'm like, "Who the hell are you?" In my head, I don't even know who you are, and you're asking about my dog. It's awesome. Like, I know you by face. Sometimes there's a lot of names. The problem is everybody knows who we are behind the bar, and we're trying to remember everybody's name. And we do a damn good job because everybody that's there, we genuinely care. I genuinely care about making these relationships. I think that my mentality is for a night like Friday. Is we got great music there. We got great beers. There's a charity we can support. There's a food truck. So if everybody's winning, like if everybody's doing their thing and it works, everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
And we have a good thing. And it's our community that makes it happen. Like our Christmas market was crazy.
Dude,
that we
I saw
had.
posts about that.
Yeah.
It looked insane. Like it's rivaling like the distillery district kind of like Christmas
It
market.
was, it was humbling. It exceeded expectations. It was absolutely mental how many people came out. The thing is, for even the food pantry, there was like 2,200 pounds of food brought in for the food pantry. The thing is, I never I'm a team player. I grew up in the hockey community. It's not credit to us. We're just the venue that brings everyone together. But the people in this community blows my mind.
Yeah.
It's them. It's everybody coming
up.
together as a team, showing up and doing this and committing that. That's where the whole day I'm going, holy shit.
Yeah.
More people are coming. There is more food here. Like, this is amazing for the pantry. And then all the businesses that are there are selling like crazy. So I just walk around and I go, this is great.
Yeah.
Again, everybody's winning.
Yeah.
Food truck ran out of food. It was just, it was awesome.
Like that's just it's a testament to the kind of person you are as well, because a lot of people will put on the charity like showcases and stuff like that just as a you know a ploy. You know what I mean? It's really just a ploy.
Yeah.
But you're doing something different where you actually genuinely enjoy the interaction with people. You are a people person.
Thanks, man.
And it is very difficult. I can speak from experience, and I know Manny can as well. Dealing with musicians and dealing with patrons, it's a very different personality dynamic.
Totally.
And you've managed to be the liaison of that and be able to talk to musicians the way that we enjoy to be spoken to. Because that, as much as you you think, oh well, isn't that a given?
No,
it is a fucking dying art for people to speak to musicians properly, and you've managed to nail it on the head, as well as deal with your patrons in a way where they are comfortable and they know that they can come in here. Because usually when you go to places, right, that you know it's gonna have live music, people automatically start tensing up, getting their back up. It's like, okay, who am I fighting tonight? Yeah. You know, when there's alcohol involved and everything like that. Every time I've been to market on New Year's Eve, I've been to market on like heavy, crazy times. Market during pandemic, market during like stressful times, right? And then chill nights. I walk out of there happier than when I came in. You know, that's a testament to the atmosphere you set there, right?
Is it the lights?
And your staff.
Is it that you guys have lots of lights? It's very bright in there.
You know what?
I'm trying to figure out if that's.
No, I have a thing. The lights gotta go. I hate it if the lights are bright when the music's on.
Yeah, me too.
Lights have to be dim in the crowd and lights on the stage. Focus
Look at
on
you,
the musicians.
theater lighting.
No, I hate it. You know what I tell the staff? This is literally what I tell our staff. I said by the time the music starts, it needs to get keg sexy. Because have you ever been at the keg?
Oh yeah.
And then out of nowhere, it just dims. You're enjoying your dinner. It's like 9 o'clock. And then all of a sudden it dims out. You're like, what is happening right now?
Well, I noticed when we were on stage on Friday. When we were on stage on Friday, it's just like the lights got brighter. I sweat like Whitney when I'm on stage. So like I'm just like my eyes are closed because I'm getting sweat in my eyes, and I got enough product to probably bring Whitney back. But so like my hair is concrete and it's just pouring into my eyes and the stinging, right? So I'm Ray Charles in it by the time the night's through, and you look out into the crowd and it's like perfect because I can only see silhouettes of people. And that's gorgeous to me.
That's going into that. I want that vibe, the atmosphere to feel chill. While the musicians are on. That's what it's all about. And also, thank you for all that, because I'm not one to like to talk about myself, so I appreciate that. I got this.
Oh man, I'll plug you to the
no,
cows
I
come
know,
home,
but
man.
I'm all about like it's everybody together, man.
Yeah.
I just do my thing. I just try to treat people well. And it's like being around you guys are great people and amazing musicians. So you guys come in and like our staff's amazing and my partners there are amazing and the patrons that come in are amazing. So I only take the credit as in I try to just bring everybody together. Yeah. But it's also the combination of such amazing and unique personalities, which I think that
we should talk about like.
So thank you for that. But I gotta spread a little bit out to everybody involved because it's a total team effort always, man.
Yeah,
that's my
you guys
mentality.
are a really good team.
Especially after a
scary
pandemic.
good.
Yeah.
Especially after a pandemic, though.
Yeah. I've seen accountants that have less strategy than you guys, man. Like it's scary how you guys are so on the ball. Down to like your POS, how like quick and functional you guys are in a crazy, times that you're crazy busy.
Yeah.
Just how like boom, 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 boom. Everybody's getting what they need. Both with the personality and the greeting that you're giving them, all the way right up to the drinks that you guys are giving, but reasonably priced, great atmosphere. It's a do what you want, do what you can,
and no cover always is the other big thing. I've never wanted to put that you have to pay or the people have to pay for the musicians. I'm like, we're doing it. We're going to handle it on our own. I want everybody to know it's just you come in and hang out. Manny, I think you were saying earlier, sometimes people come for the night. Sometimes people come for like 2 beers and 1 set, and then they got to go home or some shit like that.
People walk their dog. They'll walk their dog, bring their dog in, and have a beer, especially in the summertime, right?
On the patio,
on the
awesome.
patio all the time. They'll there's houses close enough where you could do that, but you'll see that a lot in the afternoon on a Sunday. But New Year's, right? Because New Year's Eve, people are always like, oh, where do we go? Where do we go? And then I'm like, oh, we're playing the Market. We'll be playing again this New Year's with Glenn. 3rd year, 4th year in a row, whatever.
It might be fourth.
It might be 4th, yeah. And
it's tradition, man. I don't want to mess with it.
Yeah, and it's been amazing because it's that thing where people are like, wait a second, no cover? So I don't have to stay to midnight. No. I could just come by because people get all worked up. New Year's. And you were there last year. It was a blast. Or not
2 years ago, yeah.
The last one
we had
would
a
have done.
lockdown break.
Wait, no, I was going into 2019 was the last time I was there.
Which makes sense.
Going into 2019. Going into 2020, I was gigging.
Okay.
And
then last year we didn't have it.
Last year we didn't have it. So going into 2019.
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah,
Wow.
man. Yeah.
But it's cool because I think it was like a last minute thing for you and Jack or something.
Yeah, because I was supposed to be gigging as well, and then I couldn't do it. I don't know what it was, but it was on me. But like I can't remember exactly what the situation was, and I know somebody will correct me. Hey, bastard, you bailed on us, but no, it was something genuinely serious. I think something was going on. Anyway, I was like on tour. I was just getting back off tour, and then I was booked for another gig, and I was just burnt the hell out. Man.
Yeah.
And like I had just gotten back from the States, and it was just like, and I'm just gonna go out and have a good time. Where I texted Jack, I'm like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Well, Manny's playing Market." I was like, "Okay, we're gonna go to Market."
Easy peasy, right? You just walk in.
Yeah. Went there, saw Pat James, saw
Yeah, it ended up being a fun night, and those are all like last
go.
minute things. They're like, let's just go there.
Yeah.
It's simple, it's easy, it's free.
The cool thing too is like this is like every time I go there for some reason it's just it's that kind of thing where like we just bring each other up on stage.
That part I love, man.
And
the little surprises like that.
And it's a camaraderie thing where it's like we recognize you're in the crowd, that kind of thing, right? And Glenn's hilarious because he'll pull me up for like the craziest tunes. And I'm just like, let's do it. All right, it's not my gig. But I won't fuck this up for you, man. But yeah, let's do it. My first date with my now girlfriend that I live with was at Market.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I tried ruining it.
That's right.
You didn't even preface that at all, eh? You just surprised me with that bombshell. That's right. In the middle of that's amazing.
Yeah, our first date was at Market during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was one of the Friday nights.
Glenn and Manny were playing there, and they brought me brought me up on stage to
was
sing.
It outdoor?
Yeah, it was outdoor. It was outdoor.
No way. I think I remember the one too.
Yeah.
I think I remember the one because you were sitting.
Rain.
Purple Rain. I was like, okay, we got to
I do remember that.
Did not impress her at all.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
Well, that's why I love her.
Yeah.
She doesn't give a shit about what I do. I'm just a guy. It's like, well, you didn't sweep today, so.
Give a shit about how you sing.
Yeah, I don't care who knows you and what you do and your fancy podcast. Go clean the bedroom.
But even just talking about this, so it's amazing. Just think about all the relationships. Like, not even just saying you're with your girlfriend now, you date there, but I think it's just the amount of people I met that I actually consider friends. It's not even just like we book musicians, like book you guys. Like, I'm here because I enjoy hanging out with you guys.
Yeah,
we're
man.
pals. When I see you, we have a beer. I've made some lifelong friends from the staff or from other people or from people coming out to trivia. It's fucking crazy. I never thought in my wildest dreams when I started there that I would it would change me as a person. Not even like a business side of things, man. I'm just talking about on the real side, on just a personal level. Like, it's crazy. Genuine people.
That's a nice segue. What did you think getting into this job that you were going to be doing, or did you have a plan set out that this was the kind of atmosphere you wanted to be laying out for people, or were you going into it where it's like whatever's coming our way we're going to deal with?
So it was a little bit of luck a little bit of randomness, a little bit of it was a bit of passion. So I was doing broadcasting for a bit. So I had that back end of talking to people, talking in front of people, radio, TV, a little bit of that. And then I liked beer, and I had a job that I didn't like, and I lived right by Market, and I went, hey, can I work here? They're like, okay, just on the weekends we'll give you some gigs. And then 2 weeks later I was running the front end, and then as you know, the story unfolded, and now we're kind of running the place with a couple people. And the second that I took over the tap room, I just felt something. I know this sounds cheesy as shit.
Not at all.
But I felt something, man. It's like how you guys called it cheers.
Yeah.
All of a sudden I started to get to know everybody. And I went, okay, this is amazing. And like you said, I am a social guy. I like to hang out, but I'm low-key social. Like, I don't need to be
a star.
Yeah, and I don't need to also be crammed with 300 people paying for overpriced drinks, listening to shitty music. I was like, I want to do the things that are completely opposite and get that crowd together. So once I was in there, I was like, I feel it already happening. How can I almost like make it times 10?
Right.
How can I take what's already happening and what's awesome and fucking drive it to the next level and just get better and better and better with each year. And like, you know, a lot of it was a learning experience for me too. I had never in my life worked a bar.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, in my life. I had done like retail and all that bullshit. I'd been at the mall, you know, on New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve and wanted to fucking blow my brains out. I had done that shit. Selling phones. Yeah. Selling goddamn phones, what I was doing when I was in my early 20s.
Oh, geez.
Wow, man.
Yeah, selling. Remember, like the BlackBerry and the like BlackBerry Bold came out, and everyone had BBM, and they
had to go
blowing their
went
loads over
nuts for that
BBM.
shit.
Yeah. You know what? The commission was good at the time.
Yeah.
Dude,
But
I
then
can only
was, like,
imagine
fuck working
any
in
like
the mall.
any turn of technology like that. You know, when the iPhone came out, when the BlackBerry came out, when the Razor came out, you know, like when things when phones started coming out like that with like these new perks and new ways. It's like you can now email. It's like what the fuck?
Everybody needs one.
Yeah.
What is this BBM business?
So I had done like service, but not bar.
Right.
But I got the hang of that quick because I had learned how to
Been
deal
to many
with
bars before that.
And that's the other thing. Yeah. I was experienced with drinking beer.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was one of my top skills on my
It helps, man. It does play to the fact like you know what you're selling and
for
you know
sure.
what I mean? Like that's important.
Well, I see some people like get like managing jobs at bars, and it's like, man, you never even bought your own drink, man.
I
You never
love our
waited
beer.
in a line to get a drink, man.
I love our beer, and I'm not to sound too much of a too into the beer because I do love it, and I'm not trying to overhype it. But you work at a brewery. We decorated it, like did our Christmas decoration the other day. Somebody today was like, "Looks great." I'm like, "Yeah, we drank like 4 beers and decorated." When you drink 4 beers, it makes shit like that great. Yeah.
You have great ideas when you start drinking four beers.
There's a bow. One of the garage doors is like a wrapped bow. I'm like, that wouldn't have happened without alcohol. Yeah. Which credit goes to not even me. Our buddy Brett, who works there right now. That was all him. But we were having a couple drinks. He's like, I gotta turn this garage door into a bow. I'm like, yeah, sounds like a
dude.
Sounds like
sure. Yeah.
Sounds like him.
Yeah, that's so funny, man. But
The community stuff like drives me crazy. Like how you guys do these things like the Christmas. I don't think I don't know for a lot of our listeners even have been to market, but like you have this big outside area, and the Christmas market, you literally have like local artisans and people, and there's the puppy people that are regulars all top of it. Like I find a lot of the same people are there a lot of the times because they just like the beer and the atmosphere. But you had like these artisans all show up and put up a booth and sell stuff all day. And I went 2 years ago and I couldn't believe the lineup. And that was COVID.
That one was ruthless. That was the most stressful event I've ever put on in my life.
really?
Did not have fun.
Because there was 10 people were allowed inside at all times. We could only have like 50 people outside. So the lineup was all day. We had all these chairs like 50 feet apart because the lineup was so long. You had to do contact tracing. I had to have the counters in each hand. It was nuts. Yeah, masks had to be on at all times.
Yeah.
So it was super stressed. It was amazing. It's still we executed. But I can tell you, like, I have fun putting on these events. I love it. That one, and I had a bit of rye to start my day.
Well, you needed to take that kind of edge
because of
off.
the stress.
Because it was cold.
Yeah,
Rye's good.
Exactly.
Cold.
Because it was cold. I had a little bit of rye that day. I upgraded, not upgraded, but percentage wise upgraded from beer. And the rest is history. There was a couple moments where I had to clear out a few people because just generally and organically people were coming in for a beer and then they would stay and chat with somebody else, and I had to come in and be like, you have to leave. Like I know the rules don't make sense and you're gonna argue, but you just got to do it because right now small businesses can't afford.
Yeah.
Well, the law, like the fine and
I was
and the
surprised
scrutiny alone.
The last one. This one a little bit easier. With
This
things
one was
opening
amazing.
Up.
This
But
one
I don't know how
night
you
and day.
guys. And it was funny because like I think people were just like, let's go do something. So let's go stand in the cold and go buy stuff. I know Glenn and Courtney had booths there, and it was just like people just, what are you selling? I'll buy. Like I just want something that's not from friggin' Amazon.
Yes.
I want something from somebody.
When I
don't even have a
you-
dog. Give me some of your dog treats.
Yeah.
Like,
When
take a
I
leash.
tell you the Amazon boxes in this room that were packed in that corner was the size of Mount Everest.
What that you had in here?
Yeah, just mountains of Amazon boxes. Just because that was like I needed to buy gear and I didn't trust going to stores, and they're like I just didn't trust people.
And you remember how hard everyone tripped out at the start? Yeah. They were like,
Dude.
people were spraying down the box. You had like
Groceries.
dual wielding.
Groceries.
I'm getting facts from my mom. She's like, did you know COVID can survive on a frozen item in your freezer for 9 years? I'm like, where the fuck did you get that information?
Not in
Remember all the
dogs.
shit at the start of all
it's
this?
been 9 days
Yeah.
of COVID, and how do we
My-
know it's
Yeah.
9
My favorite thing was COVID doesn't survive in dogs, but it survives on their hair. And it's like, okay.
There were so many things coming out at the start that, and everybody was freaking out though. Because all this shit's going around on Facebook. All the parents are sharing random shit.
Yeah.
Because, once, parents got Facebook, it ruined social media forever. And
Yeah. My parents still
I'm not
don't.
even, I hate social media in general. I
Yeah.
hate it. I get it.
I'm with you.
I get it, but I hate it. You have to use it for business. Yeah. But once they got out of you had to have a university or college email.
Yeah.
And they opened it up to the world.
Yeah.
It was done.
Yeah.
Game over.
My mom
I
is the
don't
funniest, and
understand how
my
some
mom
people-
watches this show, and she's gonna cuss me out
yeah.
the next time I see her
can't
after she
wait.
sees this episode.
Mama.
So my mom got upset because she will say that her Facebook got hacked. What happened was her phone got stolen. I'm like, Mom, those are two different things. They had your phone, they had access to your social media
Oh, did
because this
they-
is logged in,
they
right?
fuck with her
Yeah,
status and
yeah,
everything?
they fucked with her status and everything like that. And she's like, "Oh, I got hacked. I'm getting rid of all my social media." I'm like, "Ma, I mean, good, but listen, you didn't get hacked. Your phone got stolen. Be angry at that. You got your phone stolen, and your Facebook was open. Like, but I'm so happy. My parents aren't on social media. There are some things that are exclusively to social media that I'm on. That like Facebook Live stuff that I'm sure they'd love to see, but
Yeah.
it's just like, I'll sing in your
You
kitchen.
could Google that though after the fact. I think the videos.
There was even after lockdown, one of the first weekends, a lady came in and she said, "Can I have a root beer?" Sure, no problem. I crack it open, pass it to her. She goes, "Can you wash the lid part for me?" And when you do that thing because you don't want to be rude, because obviously I'm like, you got to treat every patron with respect. And I do.
Sure.
When you do that look, if you're watching on camera right now, I'm doing that like look to the right. And I'm like, did she just fucking ask me to wash the lid of the root beer? And then I'm like, is it because of COVID? If you don't mind me asking. She goes, no. Did you know in the factories, mice run along the lids?
Yeah.
But I was like, also, I would think a big company like Coke would disinfect the cans and lids as they're going. So I've heard it all and seen it all now.
Yeah.
It's not some of the stuff I've seen or
No, yeah, Oh, people are so fun. I love people. Look, our jobs depend on people.
Yeah.
absolutely.
All three of us, right?
For sure.
But I mean, just as much as our jobs depend on it, we can always depend on people to give us the biggest source of entertainment,
Yep.
biggest letdowns, and some of the stupidest stories that we could possibly get. And I would say about 80% of them can come out of 2020 because people did not disappoint.
Absolutely.
They brought it.
Absolutely.
They brought it.
Their A game.
I didn't see as many people during that year. but I got more stories.
Oh yeah, I didn't. Yeah, you don't see
could
anybody
probably
during
do a whole hour
2020.
talking
Hour
about
of 2020.
2020 in
See
review.
anybody during 2020, but you're hearing from them.
Yeah. So even on social media, some crazy shit. But we love everybody that comes through. It's all in good fun. But 2020 and this pandemic has really changed some people. And unfortunately,
yeah.
And I know it's not because of anything with any venue, not just us, but a lot of people just aren't ready to go out.
No, they're
Yeah,
not.
they're
that's
trigger
just
shy.
the way it is.
They're just trigger shy.
They
And I
want-
get
the way
that.
it is.
And they step back a lot of things. I mean, we did.
I can respect that though.
Yeah,
I understand.
I get it. Well, I had people. Well, I did that show at Roy Thompson Hall with the Women's in Blues with the Toronto Blues Society, and
Yeah.
people that bought tickets are just like the day of. They're like, yeah, I'm not gonna go. So you just bought whatever $40 ticket, and you're just 2 times 2 or 4, and then nah, I'm just not gonna go.
So they
Just
buy a ticket to support.
well, no, they wanted to go.
Oh,
Full
okay.
intentions to buy, 3 months earlier,
Yeah.
and then they're like, yeah, like a lot of people, like, I'll see you Friday, and just like, what happened on, ask them and say, it's just, and I get it. You're just kind of like,
Yeah, I
I
can
hate it. It's
understand
almost
that.
like vibes with the news. If the
Yeah.
news is
It
like
does.
cases are low, I'm like, holy shit, there's so many people out for trivia this week.
Yeah.
Cases, new variant. You're like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
It's
yeah,
gonna be a
man,
rough
like,
week.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just wish so look, I will be the first one to say 24 hours news networks were invented for 9/11. That's it.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay?
yeah.
That's why they were invented. That's what they're there for. There's no reason why we need a coronavirus watch.
Yeah.
Like a terrorist watch. We don't need that shit.
No.
You're just causing the mayhem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us what we need to know when we need to know it, and just stop fucking around with people.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all they're doing. They're toying with people, right?
It's
And
clicks, man.
It's
just
hurting.
clicks.
It's hurting business like yours. It's hurting business like ours, and it's like, fuck, man. Anyway,
It's been tough, man. Like even through the pandemic, it's affected my ability with guys like yourselves and other musicians that I love. It's affected us on, and I'm being transparent completely with your listeners here, and I'm sure other businesses would say the same thing.
Sure.
It's totally affected my ability to. We used to do music Friday and Saturday. Right now, we just do Friday with the odd Saturday. Budgetary wise, it's not what it used to be, man. Because
Yeah.
you guys remember too, for the pandemic, we had some nights
Yeah.
where 150 people, to run out and try to get glasses would be a mission trying to get through everybody. Packed. And then, I always want to be fair. You guys know me. If we have nights like that, I want to pay the musicians what they deserve, because without you guys being there, all those people aren't going to be there.
yeah.
Right.
Or
And
stay.
that's killed it. Now restrictions are a little bit more off, but it's still not at that stage where we have everybody by the bar.
Yeah, it's a
shoulder to
build-up.
shoulder, like we were talking about being on the TTC during rush hour. We don't have that experience right now. So that has affected us a little bit. And the nice thing is, guys like yourselves and everybody else, we know what we can get to.
Yep.
So
We
in the
remember.
time,
That's the thing.
So in
We
the time being, I have a lot of respect and appreciation that you guys are, willing to roll with us for what we can rock right now, and we're still trying to be as fair as possible. But it hurt, man. It hurt.
Yeah.
It hurt. And I know a lot of places that their doors aren't even open anymore. We managed to get through it.
Yeah.
And we're
Yeah.
trying to find
Was
ways
there
to keep
some-
all our nights
Was
going.
there some scary moments?
Yeah,
Was there some like,
I don't think we ever got to a point where we were like, oh God,
oh shit, okay,
in a week we might not be here. But I think it got to a point, especially when we were starting to open our doors again. I'm like, okay, I would message you and be like, Manny, look, I know we were at here. Can we go here for a little? And when we get back, it's one of those things. And again, just being transparent, because that's the kind of guy I am. And for your
Yeah.
listeners, even as somebody who runs that business, I know it's all the other bars too. You had no choice but to want to try to keep it going and try to meet at the middle ground. And you guys know me. It's just one of those things where when we get there, it'll be back.
Yeah.
It'll
Well,
be
that's
back,
the trust
but-
factor that we have in you as well, and,
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
your staff. It's
It
like
sucks,
we
man.
know it's going to get back there, and we're fine with what's going on.
You know how much it
We're
pains me?
We're willing to grow with you, buddy.
But you know
That's
how
the
much
point.
it pains me to be like,
which is
sorry.
why you get the respect.
But it pains me to be like, sorry. And then if there's a quiet night, I'm like, fuck's sakes. How we're
Dude.
talking, like, right down the street.
Yeah.
Right
listen,
down
how
the
many
street.
people right
Yeah.
But we were there before all this, right? So of course we're going to keep coming back, because just because the pandemic threw everything in the whirlwind doesn't mean we forgot what you did for us before.
No, I appreciate
You know what I
that.
mean? So we get it.
Honestly,
yeah.
maybe here we're having a heart to heart here on the podcast. I've never actually truly been able to say that, we are thankful for you guys working with us, because I want to keep that no cover music nights going. I don't want to ask our patrons to pay for the music. I want to be able to do it. And I have faith that by doing that, people will come and we'll make some money at the bar. We pay our musicians, and everything's just like a nice circle of life thing. Where again, everybody wins. That's my motto always with
love it.
with how we do shit at the brewery.
That's the way it should be. I mean, like we are in this together, and
we are
just that way the listeners understand. It's like as much as the musicians are providing the atmosphere, so to speak, we're providing a percentage of the atmosphere. It's the staff and personnel that are there to service you and make sure like you're having a great time on top of the music that you're hearing that you don't take for granted. We saw how fast it could be taken away.
Sure. And I'm passionate about bringing in. I'm a bit anal and a bit of a nerd in music terms.
Yeah.
I just want to bring in awesome music.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of
We're
a
okay.
picky. I'm a bit of a. You guys are great. You're
okay.
good. No, but I'm a bit of a picky prick sometimes. Like everybody who emails or whatever, I go, I need live too. I'm like live video links. Don't give me that fucking edited shit in the studio. I want to hear what you sound like live because I've seen both. Sometimes people send them like that.
That's
Not
bullshit.
That is not that.
Yeah.
Calling bullshit.
Yeah, so how do you, like, with the band bookings, like, you must be getting emails and calls. Like, some people must be relentless, because I know some people are relentless.
Yeah.
Like, and usually the crappier they are, the more relentless they are.
That is
Right?
the perfect way
Yeah, okay.
to word that. Yeah.
I know her.
You guys are... You guys are in the rotation, and I have a lot of other musicians that are always in the rotation. I go, hey, every 2-3 months, I'd like to have you back in whatever band like that we bring in or whatever, because you're in a couple that we bring in throughout. Ryan, with Ryan Ainsworth and with Glenn and with 41 Soul. So we love having you here, and Danny likewise. Like we love having you guys here. And then I have definitely a few other people. I'm like always reaching out, going, hey, and also you bring people out. People know you, they love you. So why not keep bringing back a good thing? Yes. Man. So there's a few things. Holy shit.
Holy shit.
The ones that if you call me, I'm not gonna lie. If you fucking call me at 9 o'clock on a Monday and leave me a voicemail about playing at Market Brewing, there's a good chance I'm just gonna hit 7.
He's deleted it. He's deleted it.
Yeah. It's just, time and place, right? Also, if you're emailing me non-stop, and I'm not trying to sound like some dick or anything. It's just let me get to it and I'll get back. I want to try and give everybody opportunity. Yeah. But if I'm getting every other day a thing from you, I'm like, okay, holy man. Yeah. I'll tell you one.
I can attest to that because I think we've been running on the same email chain for like 4 months.
And also, I do have fun. I'm not gonna lie, in like an evil way of watching and listening to everybody's live tracks.
Yes.
Right? I like to sit there and I actually will listen. If you got a 20-minute thing you send, I will sit there and listen all 20 minutes to be like, all right, am I going to contact the person or am I not? But I'm going to tell you guys very quickly, there was one thing. I fucking hate U2. Everybody knows it at trivia.
Me too. Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand why it's so popular. It's a beautiful day. Fuck, did he just walk outside and just there's a hit song? Bullshit. Fuck Bono. Fuck U2. I can go off. And also, to a lesser degree, I'm not a huge Police fan. But I understand people do like the Police or whatever. But U2, no. You're dead to me. You like U2. Get the fuck out. One time, there was actually somebody left trivia because I went on a rant like this. And she went up to the bartender and goes, I don't like how this guy's talking about U2, and that's it. I'll never be back. And he told me this, and I started laughing my ass off, and I told the crowd the next week. I'm like, my U2 rant lost us a customer for life. Anyway, so I don't like U2, and I'm not a huge fan of the Police. Guess what email I get one day to our thing? Oh, no. We are a U2 and Police cover band. I'm just like, guys. I said, guys. I look over to a couple of guys I work with. Guess what? Guess who won't be playing at Market? And not to be a dick, but I just can't have that happen. U2 and the Police.
So Bill's email is.
Yeah. Oh, no. It's a Greek last name, so even if you do it on here, you're fucked. Yeah, you're gonna drop an O and a U in the wrong place, and you're done. Yeah.
Just go through the alphabet. You'll find it.
Yeah, it's one of each letter.
But no, generally speaking, man, we got really good people who do come through, and I do want to bring in great music. I'm all about that, but also good people.
Yeah.
I want to bring in people that I could tell are genuine, like yourselves. Like we bring in 4-1 Soul, Ainsworth DeGrandis, Glenn Murray and the Mojo Trade, Bernadette comes through, the Grady Brothers come through, Lou Moore comes through a bunch. Like, you know, I just want to keep people love him coming through. People I've developed relationships with that are good people. And then there's new people that I get a hold of too. They're awesome. I go, let's do it. Yeah. Let's do it, man.
Yeah,
Give it a shot. I make it sound like I'm some like Nazi music booking guy.
No, but
that's
you know
like,
what?
no, oh my God, you're playing a U2 song? Get the fuck out. No.
But there's bookers that, you know, don't like talking about the behind the scenes stuff because they want it to look like a glorious job. You know, they want the glory of it, right? Yeah. And there was a time that musicians were like that too. The birth of social media kind of spread open the veil of what happens on behind the scenes, and you know, we didn't help by making a show called Behind the Hooks. But you know, there's not many people who are booking for the venues that they're at that are genuine, that will take the time to actually explain what goes into it. Right. Totally. And that's a great quality to have, but it's also a great thing to listen to because people always just seem to think that it magically happens, you know, it falls in people's laps. Sometimes, it might, you know, and the great things do happen on a whim, but it does take work and it does take effort.
Totally.
I want to leave it at that for now. Let's take a break.
A little break.
Let's do some commercials. And then we'll crack another beer and we'll come back and do some historical shit.
All right.
Yeah.
Historical shit.
All right, see you in a sec.
Behind the Hooks. With Manny DeGrandis. And Daniel Panetta.
On this day in music history. All right. So, on this day in music history, 1963. 1963. So the year my dad was born. Frank Sinatra Jr. Junior, not senior.
Oh, Junior.
Was kidnapped at gunpoint from a hotel in Lake Tahoe. Wow. He was released 2 days later after his father, Frank Sinatra, paid out the $240,000 ransom demanded by the kidnappers, who were later captured and sentenced to a long prison term. In order to communicate with his kidnappers, this is actually pretty cool. In order to communicate with his kidnappers via payphone, the senior Sinatra carried a roll of dimes with him throughout this ordeal, which became a lifelong habit. He is said to have been buried with a roll of dimes.
Really?
It became a token.
Wow.
How weird! Like,
that's also a lot of money in
$240,000. You're talking $500,000 for sure now.
Yeah, if not more.
240. You just said half. That's $500,000.
Sorry,
$250,000.
No, $500,000 is 500,000.
Yeah. Wait, yeah.
240 is what they asked for. Manny, let's talk about math for a second.
I'm usually really good at this.
This is a quarter. This is a little bit more than a quarter.
Okay.
Or a little.
I was like,
no, a little less than a quarter.
Yeah.
So a little
double
less
falling apart here.
It's got to be double.
I need to go back to school.
Yeah.
They didn't teach us this in schoolie. But
why did they kidnap him? Just because he was Frank's
Sinatra's
okay,
son.
but it wasn't a mob thing. I never did read into that story.
So
it wasn't,
what ended up happening in an interview with Frank Sinatra Jr., because he just recently passed away, like within the past year or so. So Sinatra Jr. talked about that ordeal because Jr. was like Paul Anka kind of pop star.
Yeah.
He was moving up in the pop scene back in the 60s, and he talked about this, and he said they kidnapped him because Sinatra was the king of Vegas, by 63. You got to remember, Sinatra was he did like the Ziegfeld Follies, he did Broadway, he did Saloon Tunes, he did the Standards, he did all of that stuff. By the time the 1950s came around, he was like looking to retire, and he did retire through the 60s. He only came back in the 70s with the Rat Pack. That's really what happened. Sorry, you're talking 1964 was really like when they started coming back with the Rat Pack stuff. So, they brought Sammy Davis Jr.
Was that a nostalgic thing?
No, Dean Martin wasn't ready to retire. Sammy Davis Jr. was still like the best showman on the planet at that point. And Sinatra just came out of retirement and he wanted to be part of the atmosphere, and he was a god to these people, you know, like if you watch some of like the Dean Martin celebrity roasts from the MGM Grand Hotel, the one with Sinatra, it's the only one Sinatra ever came to, was his own roast. For Sammy Davis Jr., he wasn't there. For Dean Martin's roast, he wasn't there. All these huge celebrities back in the day. But Sinatra showed up, obviously, for when he was the man of the hour, and they ripped him apart. Don Rickles tore him to shreds and just made fun of the fact that he had affiliations with the mob and stuff like that. But guys like Sinatra built Las Vegas and what it is today. I mean, it's a lot more corporate now, whereas the mob ran it back in the 60s. But this was like the kidnapping of Sinatra Jr. At this point, Sinatra Jr. was already a pop star. He was already into his like late teens to early 20s. So he was adult napped. He wasn't
I was just gonna say. I thought, I was thinking that
it's like a kid, like the Lindenberg baby or something
The
like that.
Lindenberg baby. How is that a household thing?
Yeah.
Like, how is that like?
I know some history, all right? But yeah, no. So talking of Sinatra, so I used to be, I technically still am, if I flex that muscle or work on it a little bit more, but I was a crooner for a long time, and I did Sinatra tunes, and I did, Frankie Valli was a mentor to me, and I did the Dean Martin stuff, and I did impressions in my shows. I was that guy. I had the bow tie. I was in the tuxedo, red handkerchief in the pocket, having my fake gin and tonic on stage that was ginger ale, and talking like, taking a swig, starting to burp, and I got enough gas to take me to Pittsburgh. That was I did a whole shtick, right? Fake cigarette on stage, go and throw it out and do this like it's a bomb. Like I had a whole like shtick.
Played it up though, to that
playing
that era.
Doing gigs with people who would then be celebrity crooners, like in like Banff or something like that in Calgary, and it's like because they have a killer jazz festival, and Sinatra was this guy that like. He was like king, right? And Ronald Reagan was at his roast, and he said, I think Frank Sinatra would make a great president of the United States. And he would talk about like all the things that he would do and like crisscross with the mob. And your running mate could be Dean Martin, though you'd have to pick him up off the floor every so often. And like, and then you go, but why would you settle on being president when you can be king? Yeah. And it's true. Yeah. Sinatra was the king. Yeah. Not a lot of people are partial to the Sinatra that, Scooby Dooby Doo, that kind of late, oh my God, Strangers in the Night kind of Sinatra. But if you listen to his stuff before, when he was like doing the Ziegfeld Follies and Broadway and stuff, that guy had a killer range. He was a gorgeous singer and an incredible actor. Yeah. Like Golden Boy was one of my favorite movies growing up. Like Sergeant's 3, like he was in these crazy, awesome productions. And in a time when Elvis was also putting out movies at the same time and weren't so good. So Sinatra is, what a badass. But I love that thought of him carrying a roll of dimes until the day he died. And just as a token of like,
and that's badass.
That's pretty badass, man.
Going through that ordeal,
just carrying that roll of dimes. I can only imagine how many people he beat with the roll of dimes in his lifetime. You hear stories though, like when he'd get Don Rickles tells this. He used to tell this story. I can't believe he's gone too. Jesus. He'd tell this story of like, they'd be out to dinner and you can tell Frank's not having a great night, and so he orders spaghetti or something like that, and he's keeping to himself, and you can see he's fuming. He had this really bad temper, and they're sitting in the room, and it's like white walls with white curtains, white tablecloth, everything like that, and the server put ketchup on the table, and Sinatra said, "What's this shit?" and threw it against the wall. And Don Rickles, it's quiet. Everybody knows that it's like Sinatra's having a bad night. Don't fuck with him, right? Yeah. Don Rickles looks over at Sinatra. He goes, "Hey, Frank, you pass me the ketchup?"
Not many people get away with it. Don Rickles.
Don Rickles, good. He goes to Sinatra. He's out to dinner with a girl he's trying to impress, and Frank's coming into the restaurant. Don Rickles meets him on just at the foyer of the restaurant. He says, "Hey, Frank, I got this girl here. If you want to come by the table, it'll really impress her."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, man, I'll do that for you." So Don Rickles and this girl are having a time and everything like that. Sinatra comes up to the table and goes, "Hey, Don, you gonna introduce me to your girl?" He goes, "Frank, can't you see I'm talking here?" Only Don can get away with that stuff, man.
Yeah.
Oh, what a time. That was entertainment, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I was a big Sinatra fan.
Me too.
Yeah.
A huge fan. Yeah.
Something about him,
I
man.
don't like know the intricacies as well, but just love every time Frank's on. I'll just put on Frank. I love. A lot of people always question how old I am because I'll put on Frank. Like, I just like it, man.
Yeah.
So good.
Everybody that was in recording sessions with him will always talk about how smart he was in his phrasing, you know?
Yeah, and just he knew everything. Like a lot of singers get flack for not knowing how to count it in or whatever, but he knew what was happening, even though he didn't write the arrangements.
Well, he had Count Basie was by his side for years, and having
you learn, man, that stuff rubs off on you.
100% does. And then Quincy Jones was his music director for a little while too. I mean, like he worked with some of the greatest. He worked Duke Ellington. He worked with all of these incredible band arrangers. You know,
there's that live footage that just recently popped up on YouTube of him in the studio.
Yes. Oh my God!
I don't know if you've seen it.
It's so
him recording what tune? I can't remember for the life of me right now, but it was really
kind of like the behind the scenes. You see everything.
Yeah. It's
a lot of that kind of stuff is popping up now. It's
was
really
he
popular.
drinking and smoking?
Probably.
Just, like, nails the take. Did you watch that?
I've started.
I haven't watched it yet.
It's hard. I get it. It's hard. I loved it. Most of it. I love it more now that it's over.
Yeah.
than in the
kind
middle
of like
of it.
slow chunks.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a burnout.
It's a burnout.
There's a lot of nothingness in
There's
my.
a lot of nothingness.
There's tons
which
of
is
in-studio stuff of Frank Sinatra here.
Crazy how nothingness and then what came out of it.
Totally.
Right?
Wild.
Like imagine having like 5 staff meetings in a row where you're like do and making fun of everything you did.
And then the event happens and everybody's on it.
I didn't realize that those live videos were actually on the album, made it as the final
Yeah.
Like,
wait, are you
really?
talking about the Beatles thing?
That new thing that
Don't
came
fuck
out.
it up for me. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
But the rooftop,
it's cool, but it's a journey.
It's a journey.
I know. I listened to Peter
everybody.
Jackson talk about it. He was interviewed by Stephen Colbert about a week or two ago, or probably a week before it came out.
Okay.
And he was talking to Peter Jackson about it. And Peter Jackson, I mean, he's known for Lord of the Rings. Like, you know, he's the director for Lord of the Rings. Yeah. And he had over, I can't remember if it was 150 or over 50 hours worth of Beatles tape. And just, you know.
And I think they brought it down to 8 hours or something.
They did, yeah.
Something.
And
that's a lot.
The thing that Peter loved about directing it was he was talking about how even though there was like some like creative differences between like Paul and John, the way that they looked at each other was this brotherly kind of embrace.
It was crazy.
Of how much they really enjoyed writing together. And he said these guys were the biggest band in the world, and when they got into the studio, you literally see them become kids again. And there's something really cool about that. And I love thinking about huge artists like that, like Michael Jackson, like Elvis, like Madonna, whoever it is, going into the studio and becoming the younger version of themselves when they were first starting out.
Because they were 13, 14 when they got together for the first time. Yeah. You know, some not, you know, and then
a little retrospective at the start, which isn't a huge spoiler. They just do like a Beatles, how they came together.
Sure,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
To see, they had a little bit of footage of them playing. What's the
Cavern? Was it the German?
In Hamburg.
It was either Hamburg or I can't remember now which one it was.
No, it was the other one.
It was Cavern Company. Yeah. The underground thing.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if I read this correctly, it's something like they would play for like 6 hours. Yeah.
Back then,
when you were a house band, you were a house band.
Yeah. So they would eat while playing.
Yeah. Like imagine though that. Yeah. Imagine being there. You're watching the Beatles as a house band for 8 hours,
and you're
before
talking
they
over
take
it,
off and
talking about how bad the food is. And it's like Paul McCartney's like singing his heart out, and John Lennon is harmonizing.
But they weren't as good as they were.
No, but
right?
they
they were still a bar
You know,
band.
they did pop
Growing
songs of
pains
the
yeah,
day.
for
right.
them,
Yeah,
but-
they sounded great.
But to think, imagine somebody now, or I guess, at the time, they walked away 20 years later. Remember when we were chilling at that club? And that was happening.
Remember
That's
our
what
first
I
date?
love.
If your first date was at the Cavern Club and the Beatles were
And the
playing,
Beatles were playing there.
then talk to us.
But
Yeah.
that's what I love too. I think it was James Corden was doing carpool karaoke with Paul McCartney, and they go back there.
They go back there,
and they do like a surprise concert for the patrons there, and they're just
That's
like
cool.
in a room kind of thing, and like Paul McCartney's just singing Beatles tunes, and it was the coolest thing.
That
James
is cool.
Corden goes on stage, he's like, I can't believe I'm here.
That is amazing.
But like, I love stuff like that.
Yeah. That's
I
so
watch
cool.
a lot of interviews, and I watch a lot of. I love documentaries, music documentaries. I get a little bit antsy only because I feel like instead of watching the music documentary, I could be working on something. I it's like, but it gives me the drive. I can't listen to music at night. I can't watch a music documentary at night because then I won't sleep.
oh, yeah.
Because then I'll have to work, and
Just gets the engines revved.
it
for
does.
you.
It starts sparking things. It's like, oh, maybe I should approach it that way, or it gives you ideas on how to approach recording, or how to approach
It gives
songwriting,
you an idea,
or how playing.
inspiration too, right?
Totally.
Like,
So I stay away from all that stuff. I don't put on a Spotify playlist. I listen to like ancient history documentaries before I go to sleep because I can't.
when I was at Humber, I would watch Beavis and Butthead every night.
Would you? Yeah, you just need those
So
like
I
thoughtless
just get-
things.
Get everything gone.
I put on like the classic Simpsons is my thing. Like,
Dude, yes.
right now.
Yeah.
Seasons 3 to 8.
Three
Yep.
day
Yeah.
Conan.
That's
years,
it.
right?
Yeah.
The Conan years.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, he's still so proud of that. Conan is like, he loves the fact that he
You
wrote for The
could ask my
Simpsons.
wife. I've watched them too many times. It's just my go-to. Going to bed, I just put on old Simpsons.
I don't
Yeah.
care.
But
This
it's-
is just what I do.
It's so brilliant, man. Well, it's funny when
It
we're
was so
talking
good.
about Sinatra Jr. I don't even remember what he looks like, but I know what he looks like on Family Guy, right?
Yes. Well, yeah, Sinatra Jr. obviously didn't get to the fame and success of his
yeah.
father,
He was-
but he was still
That's
pretty
tough.
successful
Yeah.
in
How
his
do
own
you-
right.
Okay,
Tough shoes to fill though. Like
what child has done better?
I instantly, just because we were talking about the Beatles, think about Lennon's
Yeah.
2 sons. Not even close.
Sean did a little bit better.
But
Sean did a little bit better.
but not even close.
Not
right?
not better than John, but better than his brother.
Yeah.
Sean Lennon did.
But it's weird. Yeah. What athlete even, right? And,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you think so? Yeah, what athlete?
Well,
Like same thing. Like
What's
sometimes
his
if you're
older brother's name there?
Julian.
Julian did great in like he was like
I think he had a bigger album.
yeah for
I
sure.
think the longevity. I mean, Sean's really
you're
hit.
not close to John.
No.
That's the thing.
No.
You like your point.
Yeah.
yeah.
What
Who-
offspring of a like legendary rock?
Even like
musician
when Lisa
or
Marie
not even
Presley
rock,
came out with
just
her stuff
musician.
too, it's like
Even oh my God, Goldie Hawn's daughter,
Kate Hudson.
Kate Hudson. I still think Goldie Hawn outdid Kate. I mean, Kate obviously made more per
course.
movie,
Yeah.
right?
Of course, Goldie Hawn
Have
outdid
you guys
her.
watched Laughing? You would love.
Oh, I love Laughing, man.
You
I
gotta
don't know if
watch
I've seen that
Laughing.
one.
Oh, it's a TV show.
Classic, man.
Laughing,
Sketch
just
comedy.
laughing.
Yeah.
Goldie is a
Sketch.
friggin' fox.
Yeah, she's
like
gorgeous.
19 or something, or
Gorgeous.
20
Oh,
or
yeah.
21. And it's
You know,
like,
sketch comedy shows were big back then. It was like variety shows and stuff like
Variety
that.
shows.
Laughing was one of those,
Yeah.
right? It would be basically owned by anybody that was part of the Rat Pack, because the Rat Pack was really like it stemmed not just the 3 guys. There was like 40 people in the Rat Pack. Lucille Ball was in it, and Foster Brooks. What's her face? Zsa Zsa Gabor was in it.
Yeah,
Like
Zsa
all that
Zsa,
stuff,
she
right?
was on that show too.
So
Yeah.
like there's a bunch of people, like the rotation of comedy actors and sketch comedy actors. It was this revolving door of the same people that you would see, and when you did see them, like what's her face? Oh my God, I'm drawing a bit. Sally Fields when she was on Gitch, and those. Beach Bonanza and stuff like whatever it was, Beach Black and Bingo, that's what it was. Frankie Avalon. So yeah, it was just that revolving door of TV at that time, and then they would like jump on each other's show, like Mork and Mindy, and David Letterman would show up on Mork and Mindy one day, and like it was just that kind of atmosphere, like the TV series, because there weren't a lot of channels back then. They like the networks would basically share actors.
Yeah, they sure, because they were literally there.
And because there wasn't a huge market too, like you had all the viewership.
Yeah.
If somebody popped
Well,
on, all of a
6
sudden on channel 1 of 6, channel 5 is bumping right now. Everybody's watching it.
I mean, you got to remember, like some of the best late or talk shows or variety shows, as they were called back then, were pretty much on the same channel, just at different times. You know, you had Tom Dorsey show, you have Ed Sullivan, you know Carson. You know, like all they were pretty much in the same. Like, well, I think Ed Sullivan was CBS and then Carson was NBC. But I think those were really the only channels that were going on back then.
That had a little bit of money behind them.
NBC, CBS, and whatever they owned.
So you have something like somebody big like that pop on, now you have everybody watching.
Exactly, right?
So,
and Carson, like NBC, like the Tonight Show back then was kind of what Jimmy, and this is why there's a lot of love for Jimmy Fallon, just because he brought it back to New York, and 2, he made it that kind of variety show again, where he brings games and fun atmospheres and stuff that Dave Letterman tried to carry forward, and but it's just a fun show.
Yeah.
So
sure. Also one of the best SNL guys at breaking. Fallon in his heyday.
Dude.
And he made every skit that much funnier.
Yeah.
When Fallon broke, you
you
just stared at Fallon when that stuff was going on.
And it's usually just Will Ferrell walking into the shot. He hasn't even said anything.
The hot tub scene, the hot tub sketch.
Hot tub.
You hear Will
all
talk,
their hot tub sketches on SNL.
Hot tub.
You hear Will Ferrell.
Obviously.
You hear Will Ferrell talk. Oh my God,
Will Ferrell
talk about it. In an interview, and he'll be like, "Yeah, no, the reason why Jimmy broke was because I was rubbing his leg under the water." He'd just be like,
That's
"Jimmy,
amazing.
Jimmy," and he'd be like that, and he'd be like, "What?" But yeah, Cowbell, he famously broke as well, and
the one where I don't know if you guys remember, where that like an upscale clothing store.
Oh,
Ferrell
with
comes in
Jack
at the end. From Will and Grace.
From Will and Grace. I remember that.
And Will Ferrell comes in at the end on the like Walmart thing, and he's like, 1 second, I've got a call. And he peels, people who are listening can't see, but if you're on the video, like the tiniest little cell phone. And he's like, hello. And then Jimmy Fallon right away, dead.
Yeah.
And then it breaks the other. I can't forget his name right now, but breaks both of them.
Yeah, both of them just break out. There's like a few Debbie Downer scenes too when they're
Debbie Downer.
Oh my God, they're
amazing.
so funny.
Yeah.
But that was the era like I started watching.
Was that the
SNL.
end of their because I mean they're getting so much flack right now? Do you guys still watch us?
I know I was a diehard in the late 90s, early 2000s. It was amazing. The cast, when you look back on it, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so many legendary skits. You still look back, I'm dying of laughter, but I don't know. It's just hard with comedy now. Everything's so safe and boring.
I stopped watching when Bill Hader left. I think that's really when I stopped.
I was
watching.
never
Bill
really
Hader, also an awesome breaker.
Yeah, awesome breaker.
Yeah,
but yeah, it just got.
Like him?
I was never really a big SNL fan, mostly because I never watched. I was always out, and then now thanks to YouTube, I'm like, oh man, I missed all that era. Yeah. Now I get to
SNL
rewatch
40 was legendary. The 40th anniversary.
Yes.
Eddie Murphy coming back to host was legendary. Unfortunately, it was the end of 2019, and 2020 happened. Like that was going to kickstart his stand-up, his comeback to stand-up in 2020.
Yeah, he was going to come back.
Didn't happen. It's like the world was like, they're not ready for that Eddie.
Yeah. I don't know if we're ready for Eddie. We're not ready for Eddie, man.
Can you imagine he comes back? If he comes back to stand up, he has to start in stadiums.
Well, we don't.
Yeah.
It's
we
not
don't
even
need
a
to get
build-up.
into, like the subject matter of like Delirious, but that to now, woo, man.
Yeah, wouldn't always fly.
Let's see.
But there's some comedians that don't give a shit. Dave Chappelle doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
That's why he's one of the goats, man.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Dave Chappelle is one of my favorite comedians of all time because, there's all this controversy and stuff like that. He doesn't set out to insult anybody. And he's very
always
particular.
A plan. There's a
Always, he's
plan.
very
Yes.
particular.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
Everything's thought out, man.
Yeah, he's so particular in how he says things that if you actually listen to what he's saying, he's self-deprecating. Yeah. He's not out to like point fingers and say this is you're ridiculous for being this way. He's just like, I'm the bad one for not understanding it. Like,
Yeah, he
And then
literally
people
calls.
lose their fucking minds over that, and he's trying to explain it.
they'll
I
never-
watched that back to back.
Yep.
And I'm like, I don't get it. Let me watch it again. I don't get why people are
they
mad.
won't take down Dave Chappelle. They can't
No.
take down Dave Chappelle. He's too smart.
He's actually pushing the envelope in
Chappelle.
some ways to see if he gets taken down. Like, there's a
He
plan.
doesn't give a shit.
There's
He
plan.
just fly back to
He's
Africa.
still selling tickets though. He's
Oh, yeah.
he's canceling cancel culture.
He's canceling
Yeah.
cancel culture. He
Yeah.
really is.
That's his
But
goal,
that's
though.
comedy. That's the
his
problem,
goal.
though, that-
and
well,
that's what he wants.
he
You're
has a
supposed
no
to
phone.
offend.
He has
He's-
no phone policy at his shows when he's working shit out, right?
Yeah.
And he says, because I want, I invite people up on stage sometimes. I want them to do ridiculous shit without having to worry that it's going to end up on the internet the next day.
Yeah.
And I agree with that totally, right? And then when he does his Netflix specials, he talks about that too. And, he makes fun of people, like that one special that he did. And he talks about like, if you do anything wrong, and in 10 years, I'm going to come back and I'm going to take you down. Who is that? It's you!
Yeah. Genius.
That's so good.
And accurate as hell, man.
It's too bad.
He didn't want to get Kevin Harted.
Yeah. Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart
Kevin Hart.
getting the Oscars taken away. I know. I watched his docu-series of Don't Fuck This Up.
Is it good?
It's
yeah,
so
yeah,
good.
okay.
It
yeah,
is
that's
so
on my
good.
list. Yeah,
It
it's
leads
on my-
right up to when he got into the car accident. Like it leads right up to that, but it shows him at the height getting the Oscars gig, and them taking it away, and what his thought process was. It was heartbreaking for him. I totally understand it.
Yeah.
But that is the funniest shit you can do to somebody. It's like, oh, you're gonna take away his big stage moment in front of a bunch of pretentious people and giving him out trophies. Like.
Well, like what was it? The Emmys when Ricky Gervais hosted that last time.
That was the Golden
One of
Globes.
the- oh,
That
Golden
was the
Globes,
fucking
all-time.
best thing ever.
All-time monologue. All-time
Yeah.
monologue. He just calls him out and he does like the Jeffrey Epstein thing. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
why are you laughing? You were all friends.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
all on the plane.
Yes.
And it cuts to some guys.
Yes.
And they're deadpan.
Yep.
And I'm like, go Ricky, keep
Yep.
going, baby.
Yep.
Yeah. I love Ricky Gervais too. He's another guy.
Oh,
who says
Ricky
it.
Gervais is like he's so real. At the end of one of them, I think it was the first one he did. They were panning through the chandelier, and he goes, "Thank you, thank the guild or whoever," and he says, "And thank God for making me an atheist."
God for making me atheist. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, while we're just spewing. I mean, I love just shooting the shit. This is awesome. Let's ring it back.
I have a comment.
What? Oh,
Yes.
Please
Now
make
that
your comment.
we're on the film and I'm drinking your beer, the sticker should be that way.
All right.
So when you're drinking,
I think it's not set. Is it
It's
set?
not-
oh, they're
it's
not,
not-
set. Okay.
I don't know. Is it?
They're not.
No, see?
No, that one's different.
This one's
yeah.
good.
All right.
I think it's just.
It's
How
just
do
yours.
these stickers get on here?
Well,
These
it's,
Tell us how.
it's sticky.
There's
Where
an
do you
adhesive,
buy?
There's something, and then they wrap.
Is it-
No, these
is
ones
there-
come pre-wrapped, so we order them and they come like this.
Oh,
This,
Sweet.
I'm just saying this on for hopefully people are watching a video. I'm like these ones.
These ones.
Yeah, these
The
ones.
orange
This
So the
table.
orange one
Orange
for the
one.
people listening at home. There's an orange one. It comes pre-wrapped. Other ones like this
Yeah.
that I'm holding is more of a one-off. We have a labeling machine. We just slap on a
Nice.
smaller label
So does
because
someone
this is
stand there and do
this is just going to be. It's not bad. No, you roll it. You put it down.
Okay.
Again, this is not great for the
No,
audio
no, it's okay.
people, but you put it down. Boom. You hit a little pedal, like a gas pedal. It spins, slaps on the sticker, and you're like,
Sounds time
next
consuming.
one. Not at all compared to
Do you do it
fucking
before the
hand-bombing.
beer?
Hand bombing them back in the day was the worst.
Oh, yeah,
You would
tell us.
literally
Yes.
have the sticker and the blank
Yeah.
can when we first started.
Yeah.
And that was like the bartender's job if it was dead for the first 3 hours. I'm like, here are 12 cases, try to get them done. And you would hand bomb the label on each one, literally taking this, and you'd be like that. Next one. Now we can at
Bill
least
is
drop it,
fondling the
spin it,
can right now.
Drop it, spin it, yeah. For those listening, yeah.
It's like
Really
ASMR.
touching this can all over the
Well,
place.
I mean that's
And then we were like, okay, the regular stuff like Beswick Bear Hug, let's just get it
Yeah.
pre-done. And some of it's in the
Ah.
like the Bear Hugs in the LCBO, so it's got to have that.
so you can
Polish.
find like this beer in other bars, which is
Yeah, we're in other bars around town. We are.
Or is it just like where just Newmar? Or
all
like
over
you-
Newmarket,
or-
other places in York Region,
Yeah,
some
yeah.
spots in Toronto, LCBOs around York
And you
Region.
have to. Do you have to
into
drive it
Toronto.
out yourself? And
Some we do,
Yeah.
and some we kind of
Yeah.
don't. So it just depends on the distance. But we're just growing that.
Because it's so grassroots, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you're an independent beer maker,
Yeah,
and you got to do independent things like a band, right? It's like, here's my product, I got to get it to. Okay, they bought 40 CDs. How am I gonna get
Right.
into Australia, right?
CDs, man.
You know,
you're
like
not
you
aging
put on-
us
you-
well.
You start like
CDs,
shoving
baby.
them in the.
You're not aging us well at all.
it's like when DVDs came out.
Well, people still make CDs.
What are those
DVDs?
things hanging up in the background?
When DVDs came out, I was convinced. I told a buddy, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna buy this movie on VHS. It was actually Lord of the Rings. Speaking of Peter Jackson, the first Lord of the Rings. I'm like, no, man, nothing's gonna take over. I'm buying VHS like an idiot, like a fucking idiot. And then I watched the DVD at his house. I'm like, I am the dumbest man on the planet. We can skip to the good shit if we want to, like that, without Be Kind, Rewind, none of that
Yes.
shit. It's done.
Oh man, you remember the minute that Blu-ray was around?
That's the thing, right? There's always something like, so they made the DVD. DVDs are great. The only
the
thing that
transition
sucks,
isn't as crazy though. Like VHS to DVD,
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
revolutionary. It changed
DVD
everything.
to Blu-ray, the average person's like.
but there was Laserdisc before that.
Yes,
There was, yes.
And that was just
Failed
ridiculous.
medium. Yeah.
Failed.
Failed
And then they just made
medium.
it smaller, and then we all, hey, buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
Right?
media discs were like were shiny frisbees, man.
Yeah.
Like they were crazy.
massive
Yeah. You guys remember floppies and
floppy
Floppy
disk.
disk.
floppy
How
disks?
much data could that hold? Like,
I didn't put
three-
any like music or anything
No.
on there, but I put like a decent amount of documents on there for sure.
On a floppy?
On a floppy,
Like, what-
yeah.
what was the
Like
size
back in
of
the
a
little square
It's got. I think
pop?
it was 250 megabytes.
250 megs for the like, or are you talking the floppy? Or
Not the big floppy, not like the big
There's
one.
the
I know
floppy
no,
floppy
Yeah, yeah.
and
There's the one
and then
the
the hard
consumer
disk, yeah, the
floppy
hard
one,
plastic
right?
the
one,
consumer one.
the
was
hard plastic one.
The hard plastic one. I
That
think.
No,
was
the
a bit
one
more.
before that.
The
Had
one
more for sure.
before that was
The like literally
Shit.
the
It
floppy.
would be floppy, yes. I don't know how much that held.
To play a racing game, I think you had to have 4 of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Back in the day, like you're finishing
Yeah,
lap 1.
yeah, that's
Please insert disc 2.
and it was
Fuck.
probably 250 megabytes to play this terrible.
I had a Rolodex of them, man. Like my
Yeah.
dad
Oh,
had the
yeah.
Yeah,
floppy
sure you did.
Rolodex, and like you'd sift through, and it's like, okay, this one has this software on it, or this one has this software on it. For like even like something like Word, like when you'd have to do book reports and shit like that,
Yeah.
and it's just like, okay, take out the floppy disk, is third one down. It's like
Fatal
Start it.
error.
Fatal error. Clippy
So
would
crazy.
Clippy the paper clip would come out and go, what the fuck you do?
Clippy like paper clip.
Clippy.
Jesus, and this thing here, which is probably the same size,
If not smaller,
holds a
it
terabyte.
holds a terabyte.
holds all the Microsoft Word.
All the words. It holds
And
all
Excel.
the words. Yeah, all the Office
Clippy
family.
would just slow my computer down. Like you asshole.
Clippy was a pain in the
I
ass.
know, yeah. I
Yeah.
know how to copy and paste like,
Yeah.
font, like I text. Yeah. Piss off, man. Like, yeah. I've been sitting here for 5 minutes with the hourglass going because Clippy popped up. He's like,
Yeah.
hey.
Are you lost?
Did you know there's a shift key?
Yeah.
It'll make things capitalize if you hold it. Fuck off. Yeah.
Clippy was like
Yeah.
and you can move him around. Did you ever like Clippy? You could like try and put him off the screen, but his eye would always just be out
On
on the
there.
side.
That would be a piece of the clip. Oh my god.
Oh man, that was a long time ago.
Oh
We're
yeah.
dating ourselves a bit in this podcast. Once we started with the Sinatra,
Yeah.
we hit VHS,
Yeah.
Laserdisc.
Do you
floppy disk.
remember when?
Do you remember? Dimes. What the hell's a dime?
Well, a dime is a 10 penny.
10 penny. 10 penny. Like that's hilarious what they used to call it. Because
Well,
it is 10 penny.
penny is it's a British pence. Penny, pence.
Yeah.
Right? So when
10 pence.
10 pence, right? 10 pence.
And then
a
we
dime.
called it 10
10p.
penny. 10
They call it a p. Yeah, that's anyway. Fuck. Stop. Now we're really acting old.
Hilarious.
You're putting.
But
us
I
on-
never used one.
You're
so
putting us
I
on
never used the
tangents.
10 pence.
Well, I hope not. You're in Canada.
Like we're gonna get to the Grandpa Simpsons. Like, give me 3 B's for a quarter.
It's just that Louis C.K. sketch where he goes, "How much?"
We can't talk about Louis. He's canceled.
I'm going to talk about Louis.
I fucking love Louis.
that sketch, that bit when he goes, when he talks about medieval times, he's like, "Get me a shovel and a room and a shower and some soap and a woman and here, and this is money." You just hear it go.
Did you ever watch his show? He had 2 shows. He had
The live action is just like Louis, right?
Louis.
Yeah.
But he had one before that, and it was really, you got to watch it. So I don't know where, I had to download it. What the hell is it called? Still Louis or something like that.
It always had his name in it.
His name was in it, and it was weird. It was
a sitcom, wasn't it?
No, but it was a weird sitcom because he was divorced and he was living in an apartment and his kids would come visit.
Oh.
What the hell was it called? And it was this
I thought
weird.
that one was Louis.
Maybe it was Louis. Because then he's got the other one where he's married, he's got the kids, and it's more high done and HBO or whatever. But he has the 2 shows. But the first one was like, it was a comedy sketch, but morbid, like these really weird, sad moments. And he does that in the second one when he got signed a bigger thing.
I don't think I watched the second one. I watched the one that he released on his own.
Yeah.
Him and Buscemi were in it, and he runs a bar, and he lives upstairs above the bar. Really dark show.
Really dark. Yeah,
really
that's the one.
dark show.
Yeah.
And Steve Buscemi's in it.
Yeah.
That was the one that he released only on his website. It wasn't on
is
any
that
network.
what it was?
Yeah, it
Okay.
wasn't on any network.
Buscemi, firefighter before he was an actor.
Yeah, he was there at 9/11,
really?
man.
There's
he
your
was
trivia,
there. He was there.
trivia host. Yeah,
He
that
was
a trivia question.
He was one of the volunteers for 9/11. He was a volunteer firefighter.
Yes,
He
I
was
knew
there.
that.
Yeah. Lots of love for Buscemi, man.
For sure, man.
Let's tail back a bit because we
took off
we
again.
started at Sinatra. We ended at Buscemi
And VHS.
and VHS, and we'll make our way
We'll go
around.
through-
We can
we'll
segue.
come right back
Where's your
to
segues now, Manny?
1777.
Where's your segue?
I'm not on the segue
now,
train.
Manny? We have some interesting, actually some cool stuff that's going to be happening in the new year.
Yes.
Where?
At Market. Welcome to the show, Manny.
I figured people
You were
might
just reading it. 1777. Yeah.
just for our listeners.
We're combining forces couple Sundays a month. We're
To
gonna
start, at least.
to start. I'm gonna be moving my open mic jam to Market Brewery.
OMG.
It's going to be wicked.
Stoked.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great time.
I appreciate you reaching out to
Dude,
do it with us, man. I
I-
know we're gonna be able to rock it.
I'm sad it took this long. Like,
No, we're gonna have a good time.
yeah, it's gonna be great.
So actually, we have been long story short, because of the pandemic and everything, we went from a staff of about 18 to 20 to 6. We're up to 8 now.
Oh, baby,
man.
it's getting there.
We're
man.
up to
It's getting
8.
there.
No, but it's just because everybody comes in and grinds and wears a different hat every day, and we just had to get through this, right? So we just couldn't have 16, 17 people
Right.
on staff. So Sundays have been our day of rest. Everybody's off. Everybody relaxes. We haven't been open on Sundays in a while. Starting in January, we're opening the doors again on Sunday from 12 to 6. And a lot of the reason, I got to be honest with you, that we're doing is because you came up to me and I said, I have now a Sunday thing. I was like, I want to open again, but I want to have a Sunday thing.
Yeah. Give it a reason.
No, we do.
open.
You connected with me, which I totally appreciate, you wanting to bring this to market. I know it's going to be awesome.
It's gonna be a
The
great
talent that's going to come in is going to be crazy. Whether you are a musician who wants to come in or just somebody who enjoys good tunes, we're going
Yeah.
to do flights for $10 on the Sunday, so you can come in and sample a bunch of beers and just sit and watch music. I think you guys we're going to open from 12 to 6. You guys are going to go from 2 to 6.
Yes, sir.
If I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
Twice a week.
Twice
a month.
Twice a month.
Yeah, sorry, not to get everybody fired up.
You said it on.
Your words to God's ears, man. Let's make it twice a week.
It's twice a month on Sundays. It'll be on our calendar. We'll put it on social media. We're gonna promo.
Oh,
the
you're
hell
gonna
out of
promote
it.
it?
Yeah, we
Oh,
will.
wow.
We're gonna promo it. And Danny, tell me if somebody wants to just jump in.
Yeah.
tag
What do
in.
they want to do?
Do they got to bring their own instruments? Do they just got to jump on and
Generally,
sing? What do we got to do?
if you're comfortable with your guitar, bring your guitar. I have enough cables to build another Market Brewery beside Market Brewery. Don't worry about your cables. Bring your guitar if you're comfortable with your guitar or your instrument that you're comfortable with. If not, I have my guitar that'll be there. I'll bring my keyboards as well, and just bring whatever you want to bring. If you want to get up and play the djembe or the didgeridoo, I don't give a shit. Just come out, play, and showcase yourself.
I think it'll be a good opportunity too for everybody to just see the talent we have, and not even when it's pre-booked and you guys have a set list. This will be an opportunity to be like, watch everybody raw.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right?
Just having fun.
So just going back, look. See, I'm taking your segue points away from you now.
Killing it. Killing it.
Just like comedians, before they do their big show, they try it out in comedy clubs first.
Totally.
Right? They work out their shit. Jams is where musicians get to work out their shit. So that's why jams are really, really important for us, because it allows an opportunity of no judgment. They can try things for the first time that they haven't tried in public, and they're taking it out of their studios and playing it for the first time in front of an audience to see what the response will be, to where they will take that to those paying gigs and be able to get the response that they're looking for. This is that chance to be able to come out, play amongst your peers and potential fans. Like you will build fans. It's great networking for us as well, because
I'm a big fan.
Right?
I'm just gonna come out as a fanboy and watch. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, it's a networking. That's the thing that people don't usually take away from jams, but it's an opportunity for other musicians to speak to each other that wouldn't otherwise get a chance to. Bands get created because they bring the jams together.
Cigar Club.
Right.
The Cigar Club came out of one of the jams we were doing. I started later hosting the jam with the boys, but like that was and they're doing fucking amazing. They are amazing, and they started at a jam. It's like they met at the jam and started playing, and then let's make a band. Yeah. Like, but how else are you gonna meet people? I mean, it's so easy now with Facebook and blah blah blah, but until you see someone playing or like, and sit and chat with them and have a smoke or a beer and whatever, and then you're like, oh,
nothing beats it like being live.
Dude, do you know how important the jam scene is in New York? Like, it is such an important part of being in the music world and networking, playing with people you've never played with before, getting ideas, starting a writing circle, Like, if we have the opportunity to make Market the new Bluebird of the North, I like that. Why not? Yeah. That's the kind of opportunity we're running with here. The atmosphere is right. The patrons are right. People that are just going to walk through, see live music on a Sunday, they're going to go, what is going on and how do I get involved? Yeah. And for musicians, it's a safe haven. For the most part, these guys have played at Market before. They know what it's like. They know the atmosphere, and they'll know the musicians, and they'll feel totally fine, where it's not a gig scenario where you have to sit and watch unless you get brought up on stage. Now you could just come up on stage.
Yeah, all you got to do is show up.
And just show up.
Yeah, whether you want to listen or partake.
Exactly.
Just show up.
Yeah, no, if I see a musician in the crowd, you're getting up on stage whether you like it or not. Like,
Manny, you'll be showing up, right?
I'll show up. All right. I'll come by.
I love the fact that it's early. It's early.
Might even bring my dog.
Do
it.
My
dog's never been to Market yet.
My dog. Okay, well then Manny will host. I'll play with the dog.
All right.
Swap. Yeah, too. Like you say, during the day, you have some day drinks on a Sunday. Yeah. You get home for dinner. You still can get a good night's sleep. And you're ready to rock on Monday. So
it's a nice way to start the week. Well, it's don't make this. Keep it light. Will you keep it light? It's a nice way to start the week. I think having that little hop in your step that people so desperately need. It's like, and something to look forward to too. Like that. I think that's something that we missed a lot of for 15 months. Is something to look forward to. And now that things are opening up again, I want people to look forward to having a safe place with no judgment, great people, great drinks, and great music.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, man.
And I think it's going to be killer.
Yeah.
So all I have to say is, again, humbled and thank you guys for wanting to do it at Market. And we know we're going to absolutely rock the shit out of it. Like you said when we emailed each other, let's make some noise.
Yeah, we're going to make some noise. We're also going to be doing some live on location stuff.
Yeah.
Eventually. We can do this again?
Yes.
I would love to be back. I love doing this shit.
What I would love, is
this is not shit. I just love doing this shit. Yeah. I love doing podcasts with good friends and shooting the shit. This is
some shits are good.
Some shits are
good shit.
This
my
is
God.
good shit.
Yeah, my son loves.
This is
to
a
tell,
fibrous-
My son loves to tell me his good shits.
This is a fibrous shit.
So does my newborn.
Yeah,
Fuck. Yeah.
the shits that come out of that little body, eh?
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
And when he doesn't like rip for 24 hours, it's just a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, you're
It's like,
just
a
like,
nuke is about to go off. It was 2:30 in the morning the other night,
they're
and the
back.
wife wakes me up and she goes, "This is a 2-man game.
yeah.
Wake up and let's
How'd
get
you
through
up
this."
to their back?
Yeah.
Listen,
I mean,
It's
they are little, so it's not
As-
a long back.
as
But
but
I
much
get
as-
it. It's just like, how is that in them?
how is that?
And also,
in them?
no wonder they're pissed.
Yeah, yeah. And then you were like, "Oh, you're such a fussy baby." No, he's got to take a dump.
Yeah.
I just want you guys to take a moment and like, and this is terrible for a podcast, but you hear that? That's nothing. You guys are welcome anytime. Because it's
No child.
always
I know you
Child-free
nothing.
home.
I know where you live now. I might just show up.
Anytime, dude. Anytime.
Hey, you doing a podcast? No, it's Monday at 8 in the morning. Can I come by for a sec? Yeah.
Sure.
I got bear hugs. I got bear hugs. Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna be doing some nice work with
Yeah.
Market.
For sure.
You know,
Live
yeah.
on location will be great.
yeah,
Not the
for
last time.
events
That
that
would
are
be
going
fun.
on, we'll be able to do like live on location stuff. Even if Manny's gigging there, and I'm gonna make him work twice as hard.
Yep.
And he has to come back down in between his sets and like do like a goalie's corner hockey night in Canada kind of thing where they interview the hockey players, interview Manny like just coming off of gig. Hey man, how did that set feel? And it's like,
And see, from coming from the broadcasting background, asking those bullshit questions.
yeah.
Your bass in the first set seemed to be humming. What changed in the second? Yeah.
What did you change? What changed tonally for you from the first set to the second? Oh, we just keeping our head in the game, and I got a great team out there, and
You're back at Market in 2 weeks. How do you feel about the next time you're here? Yeah.
this would be hilarious. We would so
We should
quickly,
start interviewing musicians with bullshit hockey questions.
dude.
Yeah.
You know how fast I changed the tag from music to comedy on our YouTube page? It would so quickly change.
Yeah, done.
It'd just be like this hour has 22 minutes for musicians. It would just be that.
Yeah.
Anyway, do
Okay, so if you're at a bar and it's not Market and they sell Market beer, you should probably order one and try it if you haven't tried it yet.
and make the
come
trip
by the
to
bar.
Market.
Make the trip to Market.
Come on
trip.
out.
Come on New Year's Eve. Glen Murray Band will be there.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna
Then
do some trivia.
we're gonna do
We're
trivia
gonna have-
beforehand. Yeah.
we'll do trivia beforehand to get you out there, have some fun, test you, and then music, and
And
then
then
pizza.
Pizza.
There might be more.
I destroyed in
things.
trivia.
No cover again.
No cover on
So
New Year's.
just-
What the fuck?
Yes.
Dude, wait, what?
Yeah, no
Yeah.
cover on New Year's.
That went over my head.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, no
dude.
cover on New Year's.
That's why you showed up that one time.
Yeah.
Is that what-
That's how easy it is.
No,
why
I
he
think I
came
was
on
drunk
that
before I
first
got
date.
there.
Yeah.
That's
how
why he
easy.
came on that first date.
Yeah.
There was no cover that
No
night.
cover.
Well, I mean, more.
When you're sitting there on New Year's Eve
Yeah.
and you're
I have to make sure, like,
and you're like,
I
I've
wanna-
got nothing to do.
I want to gig on New
Where do
Year's
I go?
Eve.
Well, I got the best gig in
we might,
town.
yeah,
so
we might see you up on the stage if you come by. But
I'll give you a gig. Drive me home.
you know what?
I drive my drunk asshole.
Hey, we got lots of shit going on, and New Year's is gonna be a blast.
And the
Check
new
us out.
year is gonna
Yeah.
be a blast.
Check us out online, like we were talking about
Yes.
the jam sessions. We put everything up. We do trivia, live music every Friday, stuff on Saturdays, craft nights, euchre nights, yoga nights.
So much stuff.
Tons of shit, everything and anything.
And
you
then
can think
outdoors
of.
in the
Something for
summer,
everybody, yeah.
our mini amphitheater.
Please look
thank
below.
you guys for the for a bit of the plug there for the brewery. Appreciate
Anytime,
it.
man.
Good to thank you for having me.
Yeah, man.
with you
Anytime.
guys.
Yeah.
This was great.
Check out below in the description of either the video that you're watching or the audio that you're listening to. I'll have links for all of Market Brewery goodness down below.
Buy a shirt too.
Buy merch.
Just buy.
all the merch. Bill, to
thank you.
very,
Cheers.
very
Cheers,
happy
fellas.
New
To
Year.
our
Yeah,
friendship
very happy
and
New Year.
Cheers.
Like I said, excited. I was really stoked to do this with you guys. Like I said, just to shoot the shit with some pals is great.
Yeah, man.
And anytime you want me to come back,
We're gonna talk about that part.
Yeah,
but
Well, listen, you know,
I'm not trying to, not trying to jump the gun. We'll see what how many likes you
my
get on
editing
YouTube.
will get better by next time. I'll make you float. Like,
No. Sorry, I know I jumped the gun there. What I was trying to say is I had a good time. So if you have me back, I'll gladly do it.
Phil, it is
How
a-
long has this guy not been single
Oh,
for?
yeah.
You want a second date? You want a second date? You want a
Yeah,
second date?
seriously.
It is always.
Texting the next day.
It's always
On
an
the way
open
home?
door.
Text, yeah,
If
yeah.
I get a text from you
Hey,
tonight,
I am not texting
don't
you
do
shit.
it.
No,
Just
Hey, listen,
don't
I
say
set your
it.
levels to be quiet. All right, you need to stay quieter.
No, what I meant to say was I had a good time. Would happy to be back, and if we do some live on
already
location
texted
stuff at the brewery,
Anytime, dude.
yeah,
Hey,
I already texted Manny.
Already?
Yeah, for a second date. So
He had it ready on. He did.
Yeah.
You know,
I
he had
feel
it-
like a
He
third
already
wheel.
pre-typed
Sorry,
it. He
Danny.
pre-typed it during our break,
yeah.
and I think he just pushed
just
send
hit
in.
send.
fucking-
I think I want to end this video.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Take it easy, guys.
Behind the Hooks. With Manny DeGrandis and Daniel Panetta.